Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tony, aka Ash, from the channel Kiss Me Ash, and I hope this video finds you well. My bad, y'all. I had to do that shit. Oh, my bad. I'm gonna have to edit that out. But no, my name is Tony, aka Ash. Obviously, this is the channel Kiss Me Ash, or you can say Kiss My Ash. I use this name for a podcast. So if you look on any podcast platform and type in Kiss Me Ash, you'll find a couple of my podcasts. But I use that name just because you can say it either kind of way. And I feel like I'm not too clever at doing names. That's why I like a lot of my social media stuff is just like Tony Battle or whatever. But for today's video, I'm going to review Aventus, in particular, the batch 19U11. Now, part of the reason why I wanted to start with one of the more recent batches, actually the most recent batch that I have, is because I've seen a lot of talk about how Aventus is watered down. If you watch any channel from like the past couple of years, a lot of people will say, or it'll be like those video titles, is Aventus still worth it in 2020 or 2019, whatever the case may be. And a lot of the general consensus is that Aventus has been watered down, yada, 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 such and such and such. Now, I have batches that range from 2011 up until 2019. And personally, as far as I'm concerned and how I feel about it, I still think Aventus is a great fragrance. And as far as smell-wise, you get relatively the same sort of smell that you would get in a 2019 batch. And I would assume, I've never gotten my nose on a 2020 batch, but I would assume that that would be the same case with the 2020 versus anything as early as, say, 2015 or so, because I think there was a reformulation done around 14 or 15. And for those of you not familiar with Aventus you have not only formulations, but you also have batch variances. So from 1 year, let's say 2013, you'll have however many batches. And within 2013, you also have 2 different formulations. The last batch of the original formulation apparently is 13Z01. Then after that, you have 13ZZ01, which starts the new formulation, or at the time, the new formulation. And, you know, all the different batch variances from there. I've also heard talk of there being a formulation alteration that happened between the original 2011 or 2010 versus 2011. I cannot confirm this because I don't have any 2010 batches. So, but as far as formulas, I've heard that the first one again happened after 13Z01, so 2010 to 13Z01, then from 13ZZ01, I've heard that it was reformulated again during like the early 14s batch or so. So that's another formulation. Then I heard there was another one. There's so many, it's really hard to keep up. So all my Aventus buffs out there, all my highly knowledgeable Aventus OGs, you can correct me, you can help me out, give me the info, you know what I'm saying, hook me up, you know what I'm saying, help a brother out. But anyway, getting to the smell of 19U11. So from my personal opinion, again, as I said before, I personally don't think Aventus is watered down. I think that, and from what I've seen over the internet and what I've experienced, is 2 things. One, whether or not the term is correct or not, the song remains the same, where you have to let some air get in the bottle. You have to use Aventus a couple times. I would say give it like 2 or 3 wearings when you initially get the bottle, and then rotate it amongst your other fragrances. But other than rotating, I would say wear it 2 or 3 times, let it sit for about a month, maybe 2, maybe even 3, come back to it. And from my personal experience, the fragrance is unquestionably stronger, and you'll pick up different notes that you weren't picking up prior to, letting it just chill and do its thing. So I think that's part of the reason why some people say it's watered down. Also, I think that one thing I've noticed is every current year, people will always tend to say that Aventus is watered down or Aventus is weak. So if you look on the internet as far as back as 2010, if you go on the Base Notes forum right now, the first batch thread that they have, you can look at 2010 and 11. Those current years, people were saying it was weak. And then now you got people saying, I step outside and all the ladies and all the fellas showing me love, you know what I'm saying? Everybody love the way I smell. Everybody come up to me and it's like, what are you wearing, bro? Like, all that stuff. So, I think it goes along the lines of the whole maceration thing. Some people make a fuss about the term maceration. You got some people who are like, the scientific term is, I don't know, Netflix and chill. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? People just get all uptight about stuff that really in the long run doesn't matter. We're just talking about fragrances here. If we know relatively what we're talking about, then it shouldn't be an issue. But getting to 19U11. Now, 19U11, if you've never smelled Aventus in general is basically most notable for the pineapple note, ambergris, woods, and older batches would have smoke. Now, with 19U11 in particular, when you first spray it, you get a blast of pineapple, and it's like a very creamy, almost vanilla-like pineapple. Almost in the same vein, if you've ever smelled 17W11 or 17T01, 19U11 almost starts right in that sort of general vicinity when it comes to how those smell. With that sort of creaminess with the actual pineapple. Now, 17T01 is less pineapple and more green apple, but you still get the general idea if you smelled them both, or if you smelled all three side by side, you kind of get more of a creaminess compared to some other batches. So with 19U11, you get that creaminess of the pineapple on the opening, and you still get through the mid, you get that creaminess in the pineapple still, but the wood starts to set in a bit more. And with the woods, if you've never even heard of Aventus and you were to smell it, the woods in a lot of batches will trigger you. Oh, I spit. Sorry. Will trigger you to think sort of dark and smoky. Now, again, with the Aventus, you have those people who just get so uptight about certain words. And once you say smoky with anything post 1301, some people would just get completely uptight. Now, I can see where they're coming from when they say that. And I've also seen people who own older batches say that their like 2017s will have a reminiscent smoky note. So there's really a lot of dilemma as far as the whole smokiness thing that goes on with the Aventus. So you have a lot of people identify and understand what you're saying as far as, later batches having this sort of smoke. And then you have, again, those other people that get so uptight and it's just like, you mean woods, there's no woods. And then they'll start like ragging on you or like trying to, get on your case about something again that doesn't really matter. It's just like, bro, it's a fragrance. Like, if you're getting uptight about a fragrance, then you got more issues that probably you need to discuss with somebody or, a professional as far as, getting all that out. Because there's no need to be so uptight about something that doesn't matter. But anyway, in the dry down, you'll start to, the creaminess and the pineapple will sort of fade away, and you'll get a woody dry down that's sort of reminiscent of smoke. And when I say smoke, it's more like an ashy smoke. It's not like a, some batches will have a campfire smoke, some batches will have a straight up cigarette smoke, and some will have an ashy type of smoke. With 19U11, you'll have more of an ashy type of smoke. It's like almost ash and woods. So, you know, I really enjoy 19U11. I think that to my nose, it's like a blend of, it's almost like a little brother to 17R01. I get a lot of 17R01 vibes with 19U11 in particular compared to any other batch that I have personally. So yeah, that's my take. Also, as far as 19U11, if you are somebody who's completely new to Aventus and you going to, you know, the Aventus Lounge or Aventus Addicts, and you're not exactly sure about, you know, getting a new batch, I would say try to find 19U11 in particular, because that's really going to encompass everything that most of us want to get out of Aventus. It's a highly coveted batch. You can find it for a great price. You can find 19U11 for around the same price as you can find a brand new bottle, a brand new in box retail bottle of, you know, a 2020 batch, or even, you know, a 2019 reformulation batch. You can find 19U11 for a great price. And like I said, it's become, to from what I can tell and what I've seen, it's becoming sort of a grail batch. And grail batches, there's, in the long run, there's really no such thing. A grail batch is what smells best to you. So if you're new to Aventus, unless you are into collecting or you just got that curiosity bug, I wouldn't get too much into the whole batch hunting thing. Take it from somebody who's been there. I'm trying to wean myself off of it, as a matter of fact. I got a lot of, you know, Dua clones. Well, I had. And I've got a lot of Parfums vintage clones, as well as a lot of Aventus. And all in all, what I can say is just find a batch that encompasses everything that you want to smell out of Aventus. If it's pineapple, boom, you got 19U11. 19U11 is a great pineapple. You can maybe find 17Q11. And by the way, when the number itself would be the year. So if you have 11Z01, that would be 2011, you know, 12C01, 2012, and so on and so forth. So if you're looking for some straight up pineapple, you know, you've got great recent batches. I can't attest for anything after 2011 or 2019. I just can't, because I've never gotten my nose on it. But from everybody that I know that has multiple batches from that range from, you know, 2013 to 2020, they'll tell you straight up. Like, I had a bunch of people tell me, you know, 2020 Aventus is still pretty good. Like, I don't know what people go crazy about. So that's that. Like I said, there's so many different variances. You have 17T01, which is more green apple and creamy vanilla, and so on and so forth. You just got to find out what Aventus generally smells like, or just go to a store, you know, spray Aventus on a tester strip, see what you get. Preferably skin, though. I'm a big skin person. Like, I don't really judge a fragrance. I never judge a fragrance on paper. Like, I might spray on paper initially, but I'm never going to judge it based on that. I have to wear it on skin, see how it smells. The performance, generally speaking, all the fragrances that I have perform really well, but also a lot of my fragrances are from a certain era where eau de toilettes, just, you got, you know, some of them will last up to 48 hours if you don't shower. And if you know, if you decide not to shower for 3 days, you can probably still smell them. maybe don't want to do that. But you get my drift, you know what I'm saying? So as far as performance, generally speaking, I never really worry about that. Now, if something doesn't perform, I'll make note of that. But performance isn't my main thing. My main thing is the actual smell. Do I enjoy it? And if I do, then cool. That to me is perfect. And that's what Aventus is for me. I have batches that I like more than others, but at the same time, Aventus in general has a sort of general smell, especially in the drawdown. So again, just find out what you like, find out what Aventus smells like, and then have a sort of baseline memory, I guess, a baseline scent memory of what it smells like. And then from there, you can kind of gauge, well, okay, when somebody says a dark batch, in your head, you can kind of understand where they're coming from. When somebody says a brighter fruity batch, you can kind of understand where they come from. When somebody says vanilla batch, when somebody says a smoky batch, you can kind of get where they're coming from. But that's, in my opinion, the first step is knowing what Aventus smells like, and then going from there. If there's certain elements, like if you have a certain bottle and there's certain notes that you know Aventus has possessed over the years and you want a batch that has that, then cool. But out of everything, I wouldn't do the whole batch hunting sort of thing. You just end up spending a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money just to have a bunch of Aventus. And at the end of the day, other than spraying it on and, you know, getting compliments every now and then, nobody's really going to care that you've got 50 million bottles of Aventus at the end of the day. Like, it just, but again, if you are a hobbyist, if you're a collector, I tend to collect a lot of things. So I kind of got trapped in. Then, you know, it's a very personal, rewarding sort of thing. But otherwise, nobody's really going to care at the end of the day. And then even like my lady, she doesn't really, I wear Aventus and she'll be like, she might not even say anything. And I'm just like, you know, you get all sad, boy. And it's just like, and if I ask her to rate it, a lot of times she'll rate it anywhere between a 7.5. I think I've gotten as high as an 8.5 of Aventus. But, you know, there's times where I've worn Parfum's vintage fragrances and she liked those way better. There's times I've worn, you know, like an older formulation of Tete Mugler's Angel Man. Love that. Paco Rabanne's 1 Million, again, you know, an original formulation, and she was just in love. But I wear Aventus and she's like, so anyway, that's all I got for you guys. This has been Kiss Me Ash, or Kiss My Ash, signing out. And the last thing I want to say is, you know, help the channel out. You know what I'm saying? You can either, you know, give me a comment, tell me what you like, tell me what you didn't like about the video. You leave a thumbs up, thumbs down. I really don't mind. You know what I'm saying? I don't get uptight about it. It's just really YouTube. So it's just social media. You can't be so serious on social media, dog. Hit this, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, just everybody, I feel like social media has just gotten so serious that everybody's just like, oh, he said something I didn't like, I gotta let him know, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? Definitely let me know. Give me some feedback. Tell me what you like. Also, if you guys would not mind, let me know what you would like the next video to be. I have a multitude of fragrances. And also, I think a few videos in, I'll talk about just my fragrance journey. That probably should have been one of my first videos, but you know. But as far as Aventus, like if you have a particular batch of Aventus that you would like me to review, as long as I have it, you know, let me know. All the Parfums vintage inspirations. Some people say clones, but the more you wear Parfums vintage, the more you kind of understand that they're more inspirations of Aventus rather than actual straight up clones. And the Duas as well. I've got literally, you know, with Dua, I've had 13ZZ, you know, 11Z, Mod 1, 2, 3, Mode Elixir. And then, you know, I already did the video of Parfums Vintage. So if you watch that, you pretty much know that I've had all the Aventus. inspirations except for Noir Intense, only because it became discontinued by the time I even really wanted it, and Pineapple Vintage Classic. But aside from that, I've owned and do currently own some of the juice of each one in that line. So let me know, like I said, if I'm doing good, cool. If I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Just don't cancel your boy from social media, but just give me a little thumbs down, you know, and then tell me how I can improve. Constructive criticism is infinitely appreciated by me. So, you know, just let me know how I can improve. Let me know, you know, how you liked it. Again, let me know what you'd like to see on the next video, or if you'd like me to review. And I'm out. Take care, y'all.